大家好，欢迎来到篮球星空。这集带给你的是詹姆斯和纳什的 Podcast 球场大脑精华翻译。他们聊到现在大家常说的 NBA 是不是已经没有中距离了？但像 Shai KD、约基奇这些顶尖球星，为什么还是靠中距离打穿防守？话不多说，那我们现在就开始看原片吧。
For anyone who thinks there's too many threes, I'd like to know your take on this. That's never going away. And it's not because we don't take mid-ranges anymore. Like, think about it. Luka, SGA is going to have, Shai is going to have the best mid-range year of ever in the NBA. Something like 60% on like 15 mid-range shots a game. Like, this is likely MVP, if not number 2 MVP race, having an unbelievable season. And he is shooting more mid-range shots than anyone else. But the key is like Giannis, who's picked up his mid-range game. Jokic, elite from the mid-range. You know, KD, Luka, whoever these guys are, top players. You know, what they are not doing is stopping driving the ball to the basket. So Shai still an elite, maybe the leader in drives, right? Same when push comes to shove, Luka, Jokic, trying to get to the rim.
Correct.
So it's not, I'm going to settle for mid-range shots. These are elite players taking the ball to the basket, taking threes, but the defense also is going to say, we can't let him get in there. What do you do now? So that's where these mid-range shots are never more valuable from your creators.
No, for sure. And the one thing about the creators, we're going to hit all 3 levels. And in order to be able to hit all 3 levels, it gives your teammates even more opportunities to do what they are out there to do. You know, by either extending the defense to the 3-point. Okay, we're not gonna. You're shooting 10 or 12 threes a game. Well, now we're going to extend our defense. We're not going to allow you to shoot the threes, but we're also going to protect the rim. But the creators in our game have always worked on mid ranges, either if it's mid-range pull-ups, mid-range floaters, you know, turning drives into back downs, you know, to be in the mid-range. Like, you know, for me,
even mid-range post-ups.
Even mid-range post-ups. You know, you're getting a lot of guys in, you know, your former teammate Dirk mastered the nail ISO, you know, and at the time and when Dirk was in his prime and doing his thing, it was, I can get all the way to the rim. I can back you down from here, or I can face you up and shoot. No dribbles, use all my footwork, use all my pivots, and I'm gonna keep the defense so at bay and off balance that it's always gonna work to the benefit of our team. And that's what it is. I think, you know, like you said, the common fan will say there's no mid-range in the NBA anymore. It's just fast breaks, layups, threes, and free throws. But it's absolutely not true.
It's not true, and I think like it's just important. And maybe this is something that a lot of people are like, that's obvious. But I think a lot of fans, you know, it swings one way, no more mid-range shots. Like, where would the Knicks be without Jalen Brunson in the mid-range? You know, where would like Oklahoma City be? Like, that's the solve. That's the solve for people taking away the rim, taking away the threes. You know, I think there's some numbers on Shai where he's elite in pick and roll. The number drops precipitously when they double him. So, but think about this. They're playing 4-on-3 now. They have a great team, right? They have a great team. They have guys that can put the ball on the floor, pass, shoot, make plays. You know, maybe this is largely when Jalen Williams is off the floor, but when he gets doubled, they go from to 1 point per possession from like elite, right, or below 1 point per possession. So it shows like that should lead to threes and layups when you're playing 4-on-3.
Yeah, for sure.
So his ability to exploit that space in the middle and still be elite is based on the fact that he is a 3-level scorer, like you said, and that without that, they're not efficient.
They're not the number 1 team in the West.
Could you imagine, when I coached, I would have loved KD to take 8, 10, 12 threes a game. And he's capable, just rising up over people. But he gets so much rhythm and confidence from the mid-range, and he's such an assassin in there. Like, it's a big change that you're probably not always going to net out on the positive, right? And you can say that about a lot of guys in our league, that top players, that they know hard dribble, feet set, up in the air. When you get that one to go, every other shot
their rhythm.
is there, right?
It's their rhythm. It's their rhythm. You can't take away the guys' rhythm because the numbers speak for the masses.
Right.
It just can't happen. You know, it just can't happen. And to go back to the first point, the first question as far as the defense, like, you have to be able to live with something.
Yes.
You know, but definitely it takes
discipline.
It takes a lot of discipline. Like when you go into a game and say, okay, we want to give up contested twos. Like, if we give up contested twos and they make contested twos, then you tip your hat to them, and you know. But it's just certain guys that are literally assassins at contested twos. Shai being one of them, DeMar DeRozan being one of them, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
These guys are.
Those are layups.
They much rather you contest than not contest.
Right.
It's literally their rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a challenge for you know, a player when you're guarding these guys and you say, shit, I just made him take a contested two, and he keeps making it.
Yep.
And you have to realize, you're like, wait, I'm not making him take contested twos.
Yeah, right.
This is what he wants to do.
Right.
And you just gotta hope he misses. And you hope that you hope that it wears. You hope that it wears over time, you know, to where, you know, fourth quarter come around, maybe because you've been doing things offensively, maybe putting them in actions, you know, maybe, you know, being a little physical with them up and down the court, and you hope that towards the fourth quarter, maybe that contested two that was going through the first three quarters maybe becomes a little short. So it's definitely a mind fuck for you, you know, as a defender.
And then also, at the end of games, you know, the analytics, you know, in many scenarios becomes less important.
Yeah.
Points are points. Points are
Get a
points at the end of
bucket.
games, right? Like, we're talking 2, 3, 4 minutes left. You don't have the opportunity to always pick and choose your shot profile.
No, you do not.
Right? Especially when the responsibility is on your shoulders to carry this team home. If you're finding space in the mid-range, which obviously teams are going to try to run you off the line. Teams are going to try to pack the paint at the rim. They're also going to try to spray out be on a string if you fire it out. So sometimes you as the lead guy, you have to have the confidence to stop, pull up, and make those shots, because a bucket is a bucket when you get down the stretch. So
Absolutely.
it's a very nuanced conversation.
It is.